Do you guys have any girlfriends? Do you have any girlfriend? Do you have any girlfriend? Yes, you have a girlfriend. Good.
I
You have a
have
girlfriend?
friends who are female.
Yeah, okay. That is good. You have any girlfriend? No. You have any girlfriend? No. You have a girlfriend? I don't wanna ask. Okay, so basically my topic is how to talk. And in talking, you know how to flirt. So why is talking important? So nowadays you see uh, at the restaurants, when you see people always look at their smartphones, you always look at your tablet.
Oh yes, antisocial.
So I've learned one thing. I'm an MMU student, and I failed a startup before. Yeah, I failed a startup before. I built a B2B business, mobile app. We raised funding. We joined Magic Accelerator program. We just closed our company last 2 weeks. Just signed the documents last 2 weeks. I failed a company before. Wasted around a few thousand. Yeah, I'm with critics. I'm with critics. So wasted around a few $1,000 of people's money, and you know what I learned from my experience is to build a business, you need to talk. So when I first raised my first funding, it was during a smoking session, and people were weird. I was 20 years old back then. I raised funding from a Singaporean angel investor. So they gave me 30,000 USD to start my company. At that time, my company was just 5 slides. So that is how this stuff came about. I want to teach you how to build a business and how to create something out of nothing. Even though you don't know how to code, even though you don't have any connections, even though you don't have any prior knowledge to entrepreneurship, actually, if you talk to people, you can build a good business. I've met this two person also while talking. This is Valeria. Back then she was with Startup Nation, and now she's in Code Army. This is Nazwan.
Mm.
She's in USM studying physics. Awesome designer. And I met both of these two people from talking. And I've met a lot of interesting characters just from talking. So I don't have any projector, so yeah. I'm Hanef Marzuki, and I'm gonna teach you how to talk. It's really simple. So people will ask me like, dude, is this a joke? Is your topic a joke? Because apparently those a lot of stars, 5 are from him and 5 are from her, and the other 5 are from my friends.
Okay.
So people will always ask me, is this a joke? No, because actually talking is really important. Right now we are in the society where people lack in communication, lack in talking. As I said before, if you sit down in a restaurant right now, everyone will see their mobile phone, see a tablet playing games,
Yeah.
they are Facebook.
Unsocial.
So it's really, it's really disturbing. And why my title is How to Talk is because to talk, it's a two-way communication, two-way information transfer. I can communicate without talking. For example, if I want to ask you to stand up, I just point at you, means that I want to ask you to stand up. But if I want to talk to you, I go to you, bro, what's your name? Come on, can you please stand up? That is talking, don't stand up. I want you to stand up. So, my experience of talking. I've been talking for more than 2 decades, and I enjoy small talks, flirting, deep talks, pointless talk, all sorts of talking. And I've been pitching I've been pitching like for a lot of events. I've been pitching local events, international events, pitching to WIEF, World Islamic Economic Forums, for 2 times. I've been pitching with Magic. I've been pitching to most, not most, 30% to 40% of the CEOs in Malaysia. I am pitching to 70% of the CEOs for GLC, government linked company in Malaysia. And I've pitched to all the telecommunication company in Malaysia, the CEOs, Maxis, Telecom, DG, Celcom, YTL. I've pitched to all of the CEOs in Malaysia. I've
Mm.
talked to them. So it's a really interesting experience, and it all started just by talking, you know. So, and I have some ex-girlfriend, of course. So my first ex-girlfriend said that I didn't communicate that much. My previous ex-girlfriend said I talk too much. So now if I get another girlfriend, Valeria, if I get another girlfriend, I'll be like a bit of both. I talk about a bit and not talk a little bit. So why do we talk? Because it's necessary. It's really, really necessary. So it's really simple. So how did I approach my investor? Actually, it was, in a sense, it was a pitching competition. But really, how I approached my investor is when she was outside smoking. I went to her because I smoke. I went to her, say, "Can I have a lighter?" I have two lighters in my pocket, but I straight away went to her. Can I have a lighter? She gave me a lighter and light me up, and we just start talking from there. So that act is called an icebreaker. If you notice this now, I sit down, you talk about WordPress. I don't know shit about WordPress. But I love WordPress. Then you start talking to me. So talking is an art. Conversation is an art. So some of you guys like, oh, this is like really pointless. Let me tell you how we got our first client. So I added this, you know, Post Malaysia.
Yeah.
Post Malaysia is like
The
the
National Post Office.
largest postal service in Malaysia. I added the CIO on Facebook. Sorry, I added the CIO on LinkedIn. So he approved my LinkedIn. I just straight away sent him a message, said I want to meet him, and he said yes. Why not? So I set up a meeting, go to his office, I talk to him, and he liked our idea and said, okay, why not you test it in Post Malaysia? So at that time, I'm just a 21-year-old guy, still a student, still studying. In my team, there's 3 people still studying, and both of them know 3 of my team. The 3 of my team are all 21 years old, all still studying, but we've been talking to a lot of people. So, what is the importance of talking? Anyone over here want to start a business? Want to start a business? Want to start a business?
Maybe.
Yeah, you are in a business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to start a business? The most important thing, want to start a business, is to validate your idea. And that is why I failed my business. One of the reasons why I failed my business, because I didn't validate my idea. I didn't go out and talk to our customer. So we did talk to people about our idea. I met people like you. Hey, I'm doing a queue management system. If you take a queue number using my phone, you get an estimated time of arrival. Will you be interested? And of course you would say yes because you have a bad experience in the banks or JPA, or you have bad experience in the immigration of queuing.
Mm.
But you are not my customer. You are my user. I didn't go to the CEO. I didn't talk to them. I'm building this. Will you be willing to do this? I didn't go to an owner of a restaurant. There's a lot of queuing. I didn't go to him and talk to him. I'm building this. Are you willing to use this? Are you willing to pay for this solution? So I didn't talk to them. That was my mistake, and that is why I'm urging you guys. Guys, if you want to start a business, don't hide your idea. Talk to people. Share about your idea. And if you want a really good platform, you can come to Valeria. Valeria is doing this Code Army X thing. Valeria, can you come and explain about Code Army?
No, so what Hanif is saying, the whole importance of talking to people is because you really need to see who is going to be the one using your product, right? And in his case, it was B2B, business to business, right? But when it's business to customer, you can have all these assumptions and hypotheses of what your customer is going to be like. But until you go out and talk to them, interview them, see what they want, see what their problems are, see how they solve them already, if they have anything else, you won't really know. You can only think, oh yeah, because and that's why sometimes some of the best startups is because I had that problem, so I know how I feel and this is how I want to solve it.
Mm.
But if you just have this random idea, oh, I want to help moms do this because I think they have this problem, but you're not a mom yourself, so you don't know what it's really like. So it's very important to go out there. And that's actually what I'm doing here today in a way. Like I want to interview some of the tech students because we're building a program for them. So it's part of the customer discovery, and until you don't know your customer
you guys are really fortunate because right now you guys are in the community where startups is actually like rising in Malaysia. You have a lot of school camps like Lean Startup Machine, Startup Weekend, then you have One Map, and other things,
This one.
BarCamp, and you have a point where you can ask a question, which is magic. So you have this kind of organization that try to bring up startup, and these things are not here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I started my business. And I started my business, I don't even know what's the meaning of lean startup. I don't even know what's the meaning of business model canvas. I don't even know about customer discovery, product validation, product market fit. I don't know what heck's that. And I urge you guys, if you guys want to start a business, learn those things first. Join
Can I tell a
first.
story?
Yeah.
Because actually, I got into the startup world. I was working in a digital marketing agency before, but I got into the startup world because of someone taught me. So I volunteered at an event called Flirt Teens, and I had no idea about this, but it was with kids, right? So I had some business background, but then I really liked what they were doing. I liked the company that was running that, which was Startup Malaysia. So I said, okay, who are these people? And then I just started talking to them. I said, hey, I'm interested. They weren't hiring at the moment. But then this program came along and I got hired to do that. I'm not working with them anymore, but it just goes to show like if you show some interest, if you meet some people, if you just talk to them, get to know them a little bit more, you never know the opportunities also that you can find just by asking. And that's how we met.
That's how I met Valeria. She was actually one of the person who interviewed me. I was like applying for a job to become a facilitator for startups in Asia. I've been with. I'm not working with Startup Malaysia. I'm just in part time with Startup Malaysia. But the pay is good. I like the pay. They pay really a lot of money. So I've been sticking with them for quite some time. It's been a year with Startup Malaysia, and you guys are really lucky because you guys are at a point where you guys can learn these things sometimes for free. I mean, don't talk about the internet. Don't talk. I mean, internet you can learn everything, but the programs. You have BarCamps, you have Startup Weekend. Startup Weekend, you need to pay like 10 to 20 ringgit. I mean, it's cheap. This startup machine is much more expensive. 300 ringgit, right, Valeria? This startup machine. But the knowledge that you acquire during this program is really useful. So, okay, this is like when you approach a guy, right? Going back to my topic, when you approach a person and you want to talk to him, you don't know what is his background, so just go to him and do an icebreaker. So if you're a smoker, ask for a lighter. That's like the simplest way to start a conversation. But if you're not a smoker, you just go to them, hey, how's life? Just ask, how's life? And she will tell you, or they will tell you their name, where are they from, which company are they from. So use that small topics to expand the conversation. For example, I'll give you an example. Hey man, how's life? What's your name again? What? Safwan. So are you local or international? International. Which country are you from? Algeria. Seriously? I've never been to Algeria. So, no, seriously, I've never been to Algeria. Where is Algeria again? No, Algeria is in North Africa. Algeria looks like any African Pardon? Oh. Okay, you see what I did there? I let him control the conversation. So that is how you start the conversation. So I know actually Algeria is not North Africa, but sometimes you just need to act stupid to make sure they hear the conversation. Try to push and push, just like what I did to you. So you give me one topic, WordPress, and then you elaborate tons of stuff. Why do you do that? To gain trust. So to gain trust. For trust, you need to have three things. Number one, you need to have their name. Number two, where they are from. Number three, you need to have at least a 3 minutes conversation with them. So if you have at least a 3 minutes conversation, like a really insightful conversation, and in that 3 minutes, 70% of the time you let them talk and you listen, you can gain trust. Trust me. this works like for your personal life, for your professional life, it works. It really works. So that is how I met my investor. Smoke, smoke. And I asked her, her name is Anne from Sun Ventures. Like, what do you do? She said, oh, I'm from Sun. So then I asked, what does Sun do? Why does the name Startup Nation and stuff, etc., etc. Then she explained to me for 30 minutes, 5 sticks of cigarette. I can get cancer, but it's worth it. Right. So that's how you start a conversation. Regardless of with your friends, with your co-workers. Sometimes I wanna ask you here. Here, are you an MMU student? Melaka. Okay, how many people have you met today? 10. Okay. Give me the names of these 10 people that you met. Like new people. You can't. You know why? You can't. You know why? Because you didn't have a really meaningful conversation with him. You need to have a really meaningful conversation with some people. Then it won't be a problem for you to remember his name, and it won't be a problem for him or her to remember your name. That is really simple. There's a few ways of approaching people. So there's you approach peers, approach like normal people, and there's ways to approach famous people. For example, how I did it, if I approach a famous people, go to, for example, Azwan is like a really good businessman. Dude, hi, Azwan, right? I'm like your second best friend because I know that I can't be your first friend because I think your family or your friends or your girlfriend is your number one fan. I'm your number two fan. So in the future, he will remember you as your second best fan or your number two fan. Make a statement and make weird statement. Use weird numbers, use weird statistic. It works. So human minds are really simple. You can hack the human mind. You can really hack the human mind. For example, her name is Valeria Morales. Right. Valeria Morales. What's her name again? Her name. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? What's her name?
Valeria Morales.
I promise you till tomorrow you'll remember her name. Valeria Morales. Why? Because everyone said the name and her name is quite unique. She's from Costa Rica. So Valeria Morales. It's like a really beautiful
Exotic
name,
name.
right? It's a really unique name. You can't find this kind of name in Malaysia. She's the only one that has this name, Valeria Morales. And you remember the Valeria Morales for the rest of your life. Why? Because the human mind is really easy to hack. My name is not that famous, but people will go to me, dude, are you from critics? They'll remember my company name. So, it differs. So try to hack the human mind. For you, till now, I can't remember your name, but I know you're from Algeria, and not all African people are black. So I know that point from you. So in the future, when I meet you, I go, hey man, you're that guy from Algeria, right? So just that subtle details, you can hack the human mind. So why is this important? Let's adapt it because we have a lot of males here and one female. So let's adapt it to your personal life. For example, you like this girl. I like this girl. So you've been trying to get this girl like since the first time you met her, but you can't. Maybe you don't have the guts to meet her, or maybe you can create a meaningful conversation with her. So what you do is go to her and just tell her, hey, nice shirt. And then she's like, oh yeah, I bought this shirt from here. Oh seriously, I went there yesterday. You just lie the hell out of her. And trust me, if you continue lying within 1 week, you'll get her phone number. So, but it's not an ethical way to do this stuff, but it works. Don't oversell it. Don't lie to a point that you say you own a Ferrari, you own a BMW, you own a private jet. No, just lie on these subtle things. Taking this into adaptation to an investor. go to your investor or go to this your future client. Say, I have this product. No, I'm trying to test out this product. But then in reality, you don't have the product. You never built the app yet. So if the guy say, it's cool, I want to see your app. If your app is good, I want to fund them. Then you need to make an appointment. So make sure you make an appointment like 1 month after or 3 weeks after you met her. Then you build your MVP. You know what's MVP?
Minimum viable product.
So MVP is a minimum viable product. Is where the product it's a good enough to have, and you don't have any hassle to build the product if you're an IT student. So it's really simple. The human minds are really simple. I need to talk until what time again? 4:50.
450.
Okay, this is like one of the most important part. End your conversation with a bang. You need to create an impact when you end your conversation. So this is like what they call to action. So when you wanna end your conversation, you cannot end it like just okay bye, because you can't give an impact. So for example, you meet a girl, you wanna end a conversation, tell her, hey, let's go for a movie sometime, or let's go for a coffee sometime. That is how you end a conversation with a girl. If you meet your potential client, how you wanna end the conversation, it's like, can I get your email? I drop like some infos about the product. So, or the simplest way is, can I get your card? Or can I add your Facebook? It's sometimes it's the small things that people overlook. For example, I give you a simple example because most of you here are students. You go to your lecturer. How to end it with a bang with your lecturer? After class, the first day of class, finish that class, you meet your lecturer, ask some stupid questions, and your lecturer will remember you for the rest of your life. That's the first time. The second time, make sure your lecturer remembers your name. The third time, make sure your lecturer remembers your ID. Sure, you'll get an A for that exam. Trust me. You have 14 weeks in a semester, or for short semester, 7 weeks in a short semester, and actually, you don't need to study to get an A. I've done it. For one semester, I didn't go to class, but I added it with a bang. So I passed the test. I mean, I passed most of the tests, got 3.7 on my pointer, just by establishing a good relationship with the lecturer. And it works. So you need to hack your life. So I've told Azwan just now, life is really simple. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. If you're a thief and you steal stuff, that is not a wrong decision for you. Because if you steal stuff, means that you need the money. So if you get caught by the police, you go to jail and then go to court. So that is what we call risk. That is the risk of your action. And then at the end of the day, the guy who you stole the money from will lose some money. And you, if you don't get caught, you'll get some money. So that is the impact of your decision. Life is as simple as that. You have your decision of doing something, you have the risk of that thing, and you have the impact. It's like starting a business. You have a decision to start a business, and starting a business will have risk, and at the end of the day, there's an impact to your business. Same goes to studying. You have the decision to take, for example, IT, and then you have the risk of taking IT because some of you maybe don't know how to, don't have any prior knowledge in coding, so there's a risk in taking IT, and there's an impact in taking that course. So I think I'll end my talk early, and I'll leave you to that. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. You enter the room, some of you may feel sleepy, but it's your decision. It's the risk of meeting me. And I don't mind because that is my decision and that is my risk. And at the end of the day, I hope you get something because that is an impact for me. and that is an impact to your decision. So thank you. Any questions? Question? Question? Any question?
Oh yeah, okay. So you mentioned just now about the importance of customer validation,
Okay.
like how you have to go out and talk to
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
I think she also brought it up, also the same thing. So my question is, how exactly do you do that? Like go out, like what do you ask
Okay.
specifically?
So that's actually the lean startup methodology, right?
Yeah.
So it first starts with you writing down your assumptions, and once you think, okay, my customer has this problem, then you try to formulate interviews regarding that. But interviews in terms of open questions, you want to see where the people, if they even mention that problem. You don't want to be, oh, do you have this problem? And then they say yes or no, and then you leave it. That's not like a proper interview. You have to kind of go around it to see if they bring it up, to see if they mention
Yeah,
it, and then you.
because I learned a similar method where you try to understand behavior instead of asking about
Exactly.
problem. Sure, okay, yeah.
Exactly. And in the whole purpose, because when you do interviews, you don't want to ask yes or no questions, because then you could just do a questionnaire and put it online and have your, whoever's putting it up. You want to be more digging into the problem. So, oh, okay, so you do have that problem. So how do you solve it? What do you do? What other solutions do you have? Do you know? I don't know. Is it a problem you have every day? Is it a problem you have once a year? You want to go, and if depending on what they respond, then you ask, you see if there's anything that else you can pinpoint and say, oh, so tell me more about this, tell me more about that. So it's more just discovering. And again, you don't want to go too far off topic. You want to, again, bring it back to that problem, because in the end, it's going to give you knowledge of like, okay, my problem maybe had some idea of like, oh, it can involve this option, but maybe that option is not necessary at all. Maybe I have to go another direction instead. So it's more of just discovering that that solution that you had in mind, but you really need to know if it's a valid problem or not.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
So basically what she's trying to explain is find a problem and find the right solution. Solution to the public, to your customer, to the people who are using your solution. Not the solution that you think that is right. Other questions? Questions? No?
And again, that's why I think it's also, it makes a lot more sense when it's a problem that you have and you try to build a solution for that, because you are your target market. So you go to your peers, you go to people that you know might be similar to you, and you try to solve that. But if you try to solve a problem for people that you don't know very well, or you think might have that problem, you really want to find out that first before you spend 6 months building an app that in the end it's not gonna do anything, or it's not attractive at all for people, or it might sound attractive, but then once they go in it, they're like, oh, I don't understand this.
So, any question? Just ask any question. You can ask like any question in the sense that business or personal life.
Yeah. Um, well, you mentioned about mind hacking, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to hack the mind by doing what you do, right? How do you detect from as a recipient? How do you detect if that one is genuine or not?
Okay. I mean, as a
I mean, like
recipient,
detect whether it's a scam or it's
okay,
a
it depends on the situation.
yeah.
But for example, if in terms of friendship,
Mm.
sometimes I don't mind being hacked mentally because that's your friends. But in terms of business, sometimes things are too good to be true. If you're in a conversation in where it's a one-sided conversation, it's in where you are the one who talk too much, you know that the person who are conversing with you are actually reading you,
Mm.
seeing you where you lead the conversation, and at the end of the day, he will try to steer the conversation to the right topic, and then he will end it with a bang. For example, when I have a conversation with our Algerian brother here, I was trying to make, I was trying to like ask him to talk more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was pushing, and at the end of the day, he tried to explain to me, Algeria is like the north or South of Africa is a continent and stuff, and not all, how he explained to me, and he talked more than me. So that is how you detect mind hacking. You see people, and when you have a conversation with people, you talk more than the people beside you.
I see.
But at the end of the day, this is actually a useful skill if you're a lecturer, if you're in front. Why? Because in acquiring knowledge, you need to let the student talk more. You need to let the student ask more questions. Have you ever been in a situation in a class where sometimes the lecturer asks, do you have any question? Then people say no. Then one guy asks a question, then suddenly another guy asks a question. And why that one guy asks a question is because the lecturer pointed at the guy, I want you to ask me a question. Like what happened just now. So one guy asks a question, I ask him to ask a question, suddenly you ask a question. And after this, two or three people will ask a question. Or you ask me a follow-up question. So it's all about hacking your mind, which is quite interesting. Yeah, it's a skill to be acquired. You need to, and how to acquire this skill? You need to talk more.
Okay.
So, and yeah, I think it's now. Is the end of my question?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, other questions? Other questions? Other questions?
You scared talking to strangers? How do you
That is a good question. Am I scared when I talk to strangers? Of course. But okay, like this is like the simplest thing. What I've learned. In one day, if I want to meet like this one person, right, I will be so scared. I want to like shit my pants off. But after I go through the first wall, the next the next person and the next person would be really easy. So there is this one thing called in business. There is this one thing called cold call. Have you ever heard the term cold calling?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the term cold calling? So there's two types. There's cold calling and cold emailing. So how cold emailing works is how can you acquire a customer using just by using your email. So I think you guys have experienced this by receiving newsletters from Agoda or Lazada or all those shopping websites. So that is cold emailing. Or and there's another form of cold emailing is me personally email to this guy, asking this guy for his funding, asking this guy for to be the customer, to be clients. And there's this other form called cold calling. Cold calling is a technique. So it's a really good technique if you can learn, if you want to be a good salesperson. It's a really good technique. But the thing about cold calling is you are calling directly to the person that you want to sell the idea. So
Yeah.
my experience of cold calling, when I first call, I go to the secretary. I lie my way to the CEO. This is what the CTO of Bank Rakyat. I lie my way to the CTO of Bank Rakyat. So the thing about cold calling is the first time would be really scary. But after you have done your first cold call, the next cold call will be really, really easy. So, and trust me, I'm a 21-year-old university student. If I can do it, so can you guys. And if I can start a business, I would call myself a business, not a startup. If I can start a business, so can you guys. So just now, people ask, how to start if you're in the university. My answer is simple. Just start. Don't ask how to start. Just start. Because the more you ask questions on how to start a business, the more you think that you don't want to start a business. Because you assume that I won't have enough money, I won't have any customer. That assumption will kill your dream of starting a business. Other questions? Other questions? Other questions? 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 No questions. Just questions?
Just one simple one.
One simple
Like
one.
after like you got us to remember her name somehow.
Uh-huh.
Like how do you have any tips like how you remember
How,
names of people?
how to remember names?
Yeah.
The easiest way to remember names is you say the name. As they
Say the
say
name.
your names,
Yeah.
as they tell you the name, you repeat it. Hi,
Oh
nice
right.
to meet you.
Okay.
That's like also you hacking your own mind. Once you say it, sometimes people use also like association.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, that because it was funny, and then it becomes like, okay, how do you associate a name with malaria? So that's like another way of hacking like your own, like.
I like your question,
Yeah.
but I think the most crucial part here is not remembering people's name. It's how to make sure that he or her remember your name. So, for example, Valeria is really quite easy. Like, her name is Valeria Morales. I mean, who can forget that kind of name? Valeria
You
Morales.
could, because it's not common. At least that's what happened to me in Malaysia when I first arrived. Because all these names were like very different and I wasn't used to it. For me, they were all the same. And I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna get these straight. And then, you start associating with something. Once you get more comfortable hearing these names, then it's more comfortable for you to remember them. But again, like you have different sort of techniques. But it's also not just the name, it's like the person itself, right? Like try to remember or make yourself memorable in like a unique way. That can help you out.
Should we answer the questions? So, are you questions?
Banana.
Questions? So at the end of the day, I will always tell people, if you want to meet other people,
Mm.
like if you go to a networking event, first go to the website and see who will come,
Yeah.
then stalk that people. Stalk the hell out of the people. Do not. Need to stalk that people. For example, you want to meet the CEO of iFlix. You guys know iFlix?
Yeah.
Azra Rani Osman? Yeah, Azra Rani. Yeah, is it Azra
Yeah,
Rani
yeah.
Osman? Okay, you want to meet the CEO of iFlix. You stalk the hell out of him. See what he posts on Facebook, see what his status on LinkedIn, and try to associate yourself with himself.
Try to find like a common topic or
Yes.
something that that you can go and approach him and say, hey, I read you did this, or like, I saw that you did that. Oh, I'm very interested.
So
But
think,
if it's a regular person in meeting already, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, you still can stalk regular person. So yeah, so that's all from me. And if you want to learn more about this thing, you can follow my Instagram, Themarzuki, THEMARZUKI. I post a lot of people that I met, famous people. I'll take a picture with him and tell him, like in the description, I'll tell how I met him. So just follow me on Instagram. And if you want to print shirt, right? If you want to print any shirt, go to cercetak.com.
If you want to
CERCETAK.com.
Mm.
So I moaned for my startup for 3 days and started a new one. So start fast, succeed faster. Thank you.